This is my KTM 390 Duke. I love it more than most people and most things on this planet, and I've been waiting for a new one for so long. And now finally, a decade since the original, we have a new third generation KTM 390 Duke. It's based on an all-new frame. It's powered by an all-new, bigger, more powerful engine. And because the Duke has always been a motorcycle that's been so sharp around corners, we are here at Bajaj's test track in Chakan to test it out. Chabi hai kya?
Chabi hai
We?
kya?
Me. I know a lot of you guys will ride the 390 Duke in the city because it is a street fighter. But who can say no to an opportunity to test ride at Bajaj's test track? So the question is, how crazy is the 2024 390 Duke? Here's your answer. Mental. That's what the 390 has always been, and it continues to be. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. The way it tips into corners, the way it changes direction, the way the motorcycle darts. The quick shifter feels a million times better than the previous gen, and I absolutely love how it functions now. I wish the tires were slightly better, but apart from that, the 390 Duke constantly urges you to be a bad boy. What a bike! I am in love.
I found another key, but I will get back to him later. Now, while Varun is looking for me at the track, let's talk about the most subjective bit about the Duke 390. The first gen Duke was fairly subdued, the second gen was sharper, and this third one is really out there. I like everything about it except these shrouds. They're a bit too bulky in my opinion, but they are here for functional reasons. The rest of it though is wonderful, but I'll let you make up your own mind on it. What I can tell you is that the quality levels have gone up significantly. The mirror stalks are much sturdier, the switchgear is clicky, the stickers are now below the paint, and the paint itself is also of much higher quality. Now, if this KTM orange is a bit much for you, there's also a really nice Atlantic blue on offer. And offering even more power than before is the new 399cc engine. In fact, both power and torque have increased across the rev range. In the lower reaches of the RPM band where the second gen Duke struggled, this has just enough torque to move without shuddering. But the fun is truly unlocked at the top of the rev range because this is still a peaky motor and I love it. It feels like a Duke in every sense. Refinement though has taken a bit of a step back. It brings some of that iconic KTM sound that was lost, but that also means more vibrations at lower RPMs. We'll have to test out the heat management on a hotter day though, because the 23-degree ambient temperatures weren't really exerting the cooling system. The Duke is a street fighter and it's always been a street fighter, which means rear set foot pegs and an upright handlebar. So it's fairly unchanged in that regard. What has changed is the seat height. 800 millimeters thanks to the offset rear monoshock, which has allowed KTM to position the seat lower. Now this should make it more accessible to a wider range of riders, and speaking about wide, the seat is also slightly wider with a bit softer cushioning on it. If you prefer your motorcycles to be slightly taller, you can get an accessory that will raise the seat height to 820 millimeters. Now, like before, the Duke is still as comfortable running around in the city as it is out touring on the highway. With adjustability for compression and rebound at the front and rebound and preload at the rear, you really can fine-tune the new Duke to suit you. In the stock setting, the ride feels almost as firm as before with a slightly softer edge to it, but the big change is handling. And I'm not talking about fast corners. The Duke was always good there, and it's even better now with the responsive new chassis, lower weight, unsprung and otherwise, and better mass centralization. But the big change is at low speeds. Where the second gen Duke felt really heavy on the front, this feels much lighter and easier to maneuver, and you'll notice this every single time you ride the motorcycle in the city.
Now, the first gen Duke wasn't really known for its feature set. Some of that changed with the second gen Duke, and now this third gen is properly kitted out. But you also get traction control, cornering, ABS, launch control, riding modes, a 5-inch TFT display, and more. Now, the traction control is more of a safety net because the Duke has always been really efficient at putting its power down. The riding modes, yes, rain mode will limit the power and the torque. It will dull down the throttle response, and the traction control in rain mode will be a little more cautious and aware of what you're doing and won't be afraid to give you a slap on the wrist if you're a little too happy with the throttle. Street and track modes are identical except for the fact that track mode gets a nice big readout of the revs front and center, and track mode is also where you get to access launch control from. Now, we did get to test out launch control at the track, and I'm not going to try out launch control on the public road, so you will have to wait for a more extensive test where we get to test the launch control of the Duke 390. But what I really like is the 5-inch TFT display. It is bright, it is crisp, and the animations are just colorful and really nice to look at. The switch gear to control the screen is also really nice, clicky, and very intuitive to use. It takes little to no time getting used to it, and I really like it. The animations are in fact so good on the screen that when you're riding, you rarely have to read the text on the menus. You can just look at the animation and change the settings on the fly without getting too much of a distraction. The screen also gets Bluetooth connectivity and turn-by-turn navigation. So yes, one of the big talking points on the third gen Duke is the feature set. Let's rewind the clocks just a little bit. Back in 2013, when the Duke 390 was first launched, it represented a price to performance ratio that was unheard of. It was spectacular. Over the years, emission norms got tighter, the Duke got more equipment, and the price ended up at 2.97 lakh. This one is 3.1 lakh. Just 13,000 more for a brand new motorcycle with much higher levels of fit and finish, a whole new suite of electronic aids, and a brand new TFT display. The engine has different feelings than before, but it still has the same madness and lunacy the Dukes have always been known for. While earlier it was the Duke 390 that was the go-to choice for youngsters looking for value performance, today I think that's represented by the Speed 400. And I don't think I can objectively justify paying 80,000 more for the Duke 390. But if you want your motorcycle to make you smile, laugh and giggle, it's always been the Duke. And today, it's better than ever before. Thank you for watching PowerDrift. Let us know what you guys think about the Duke 390, and if you're looking to buy a Duke 390, remember, always take a test ride before you buy. I'm Karan. I'll see you on the next one. Was so sorry.
Where's my key?